Shalom, infinite praise, glory, and honor be unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Peace and double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom unto the elect. All right, get right into it. All right, another news and prophecy lesson, in transit lesson. All right, got about 20 minutes to get to this destination where I'm heading. So, figure I would speak on some things in the spirit, and Lord's will this be edifying. All right. So, hey, Nero Trump, as advertised, all right, as advertised, is coming out as that cruel Lord, all right, that cruel Lord spoken of, in Isaiah, I believe it's the 19th chapter, all right. And with every day that passes, man, every single day they're not letting up. Just like we're not letting up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahshua Bahashem Machak Wadash. That's the right hand of the Lord, all right, his servants, the prophets. Lord's will we be a part of that on the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, this man is not letting up. All right, the left hand is not letting up. All right, Esau, Edom. All right, they're top elites and they're lesser luminaries, the figureheads like a Nero 47, all right, DJT. Okay, and he's going hard, man. He's going hard in the paint. And, this nigga Trump is relentless. And it's beautiful to see it, man. The water Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Call halal Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. No matter what happens, this man is being used by the Lord to forward biblical prophecy, all right? Breathing out cruelty. Okay, and you Babylonians, you Christian nationalists, you're not, going to the Lord for your deliverance. You're going back to the government, to Egypt. Okay, we're not over here praying, man. I really hope things get better. Really hope that Trump has a heart and helps us out. We're not expecting that. We're not praying for that. All right, we know what's coming, which is going to be more judgment, harder times, and it's affecting us, and it will continue to affect us. All right, but that doesn't change the fact that we're rejoicing to see it, because it all has to happen anyways. You can fight against the flow. Don't try to force the course. All right, just flow with it. And that's the thing about you Americans, you Babylonians. You always want to go against biblical prophecy. All right. Hey, Matthew 16, one of my personal favorites. You can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? Okay, and clearly they cannot. Okay, because here it is, they're going to pray for America. The Christian church, they're going to come together and say, hey, hopefully we can get something together, get some prayers together, pray for America. And, the Lord's plan involves destroying this place. And not only that, in leading up to destroying it, he wants to bring terrible judgments, okay? Plagues, the sword, famine, death, and destruction, man. And, I was watching this one Eve, because now, Esau's in panic mode because they've been exposed on a very, very high level through the internet, mainly through the preaching of this word, them being the Edomites. A lot of us brothers have been speaking about their involvement in the slave trade. So now they rolled out a BW, okay, and she's out there saying that that's all a lie and a fabrication, that they did. Small hats had nothing to do with the transatlantic slave trade. And everybody in the comments calling her out. She had the Israel flag in the background. It's a straight sellout, but they're gonna just throw money at it. See, the thing that you Edomites don't get, this is not the type of problem that you could just throw money at. it's gonna figure itself out. And I think another brother, his page is GMS in Rome Lions on Fire. One of the elder brothers from Dallas. Baba Kushaf, forgive me, I forget the elder bro's name. I'm terrible with names. But if I heard the name, I'll probably remember it. But he did a lesson about that they recently said that, black people are the problem. It was some small hat representative or whatever from Israel saying that, so-called black people are the problem. So basically that they need to find a way to win them over, which is never going to happen. And I think they specifically mentioned black and Latino. So there you have it. So, they've been pushing to try to get Jake on their side. You got sellouts like Officer Tatum and this one B Dub that I was just talking about, and Dub that I was just talking about. All right. And she was up there saying that that's all a fabrication. They had nothing to do with the slave trade. But here it is. No evidence, no information, just a statement. Believe me because I said it. That's the times that we're living in. People will say outlandish falsehoods, and it's just believe me because I said it. What's your source? Me. I believe it. I said it. So you should too. Unbelievable, man. But then again, we can believe it because this is the wiles of the devil. All right, and Eve has always been weaponized to come against us. Sell out her own people. All right, that's essentially what she did in the beginning. The serpent. All right. So she's doing the same thing all over again, buying into Edomite supremacy. Okay, and the talking points of Edomite supremacy. Okay, and then in the comments they'll have a bot because I don't really see no Jake. And maybe there is. They very well could, but it's just every single time they have one of these sellouts go up there, and you go in the comments, it'll be some bot saying I'm a black man and I agree with this message. The dude got like one picture. Is some weird shit going on, man. Weird shit is going on. I agree with this message, which is a message that is against his own people. It's just like, who the hell is this nigga? Who knows this guy? Nobody knows this guy. They just pop up in the comments talking about, yeah, as a black man, I agree with this message. The message is completely against your own people, though. Which you do have sellouts, but I think it's a lot of it is deception and bots and different things like that. But anyways, and Trump is playing into all of this, and what you really see right now is that they got these people like a guitar, man, like a stringed instrument. They could just play you like an instrument, man, play you like a fool. All right, they hit this note, people react the way they want them to. They hit that note, the people react. The only ones that's not reacting is us, because really we the ones, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai, Shem Chakwadash, singing a new song, and you gotta dance to the song that we're strumming on that guitar, okay? Which is the spirit of prophecy, man. Okay, so they're subject to what we're saying. So, they have to dance to that song regardless of whether they want to or not, or whether they realize it. Everybody's subject to prophecy. All right, that's why Revelation 19:10 says what? That the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. All right, so all of this is prophesied. All this was prophesied, and all of it is continuously being prophesied by the Lord's servants and broken down and explained. Okay, so you see where it's going. All right, you see where it's going. They talking about this government shutdown. It's not going to be ending anytime soon. And the right is slinging dirt and mud at the left. The left is slinging mud at the right. Everybody's blaming each other, but they all a part of the same beast, man. Two horns like a lamb, but speaking as a dragon. All right, now it's speaking as a dragon. Then the two horns, they're still trying to put off that lamb-like nature for you dummies out there that will be stupid enough to believe it. All right. But I think you had Hakeem Jeffries speaking against some right winger. I don't even know what the guy's name was. He looked like an Edomite. But they were going at it and the cameras was on and they were talking about the government shutdown and it's his fault, it's that one's fault. And both of them are full of shit. Because when you look at what the left, a lot of the shit that they be putting in them spending bills is ridiculous, man. I mean, it's on purpose. It's meant to be it's meant to be outrageous, man. Just ridiculous. Like, oh yeah, Libiquita in Uganda. Like, what the fuck? This man Esau is all over the place, man. And again, it originates from the small hat because this is their kingdom. This is their rulership. Everyday Edomite in America, most of them ain't even with that shit, But the problem is the Babylonian mentality is to just be apathetic towards everything. Well, if it don't bother me, I don't give a damn. That's the problem. You can't have that mentality in the kingdom because it leads to, a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. It leads to more wickedness when you don't address things up front. When you don't deal with wickedness, okay, sin in all its forms, like they try to break down the MOTB. When you don't deal with that up front and you allow these things little by little, and you think, I'm just gonna. People can live their life. I don't care. I don't care what you do. But the thing is that when you're running a kingdom, you can't have that mentality. You can't have this. You can't allow just anything, and then it turns into a free for all, man, like what you have now. So Esau, Edom, you have allowed this, and now that the proverbial chickens are coming home to roost. You don't like what you're seeing when a mirror gets held up in front of America, Babylon the Great. They don't like what they see, and what do? When they get angry about it, they turn on Jake. They turn on so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man, to get their anger out and blame us. All of these problems is us, but this is your kingdom. Ain't you the big shot? Ain't you the one that's calling all the shots and running the show? How is little old Jake with nothing really creating that much of a problem for you? You already subjugated us. We're still in captivity to this day. We don't even have a standing army. We don't have power. We have nothing. But somehow he's flipping the narrative to say, well, these people are the problem. You see? And the Jakes that are a problem, you created them and pushed, this. You love to see Jake, act as a nigga. That's what they really truly love, man. You see, they don't want to see an upright Jake. That's something that they mock at. But they love to see Jake in the most lowest estate because then it makes it easier for them to give that accusation against you. Okay? But again, with all this happening, this man is being more cruel than ever, man. He's heartless. Okay, and that's how he was designed to be. He's the devil, as the Bible speaks of. Right? So you have the government shutdown. You have the Insurrection Act being floated around, okay, which I'm sure they float these things around because they already decided that's what they're going to do. And they just testing the waters to see how people will react. And you Babylonians, even though all this is happening, people are still docile because the majority of people voted for him. And you look at what a lot of people are saying, they're saying, well, I voted for this. I voted for him to come down and, do this with these cities. But a lot of them didn't see it going this crazy. But, because of pride, they have to stand on their decision, right? So they'll say, well, I voted for this. Okay, well, when the economic woes come, and they're going to still blame the Democrats, and the Democrats are going to blame the Republicans. It's nothing is going to get done, right? Yep. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Good one, the brother posted. Let me put that up. This is Psalms 94:20, and it reads, "Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee? framing mischief by a law. There you have it. Framing mischief by a law. So they have these things on the books already, Rex 84, and they have let's not forget, actually something I wanted to get into on the lesson was Project Megiddo, which is basically, actually I think I might have mentioned that recently, but I'll bring it out again. That Project Megiddo is basically something on the books that they have for the year 2000 that certain quote unquote apocalyptic cults would become violent with the turn of the millennium. Okay, and the thing that's crazy about it is these Christians, you Christian nationalists are so full of shit, man, because the scriptures talks about the end of this current world setup. So why are you talking about setting up America more? And anybody who talks about the apocalypse or the end or Armageddon is considered an extremist. Make that make some sense, because you standing on the Bible, you're talking about the Bible, but that's the Psalms, the 50th chapter. You want to take the Lord's covenant, you want to take hold of it, but you don't want to go by what's written in the book. Okay, it's just JC, and that's all it is. That's all that it ever will be. No edification, no breakdown, just a bunch of angry, loud Edomites getting up there on the mic, all right, and talking about how they're going to take their country back and this and that. And then meanwhile, the writing is on the wall that you're done. Right, you're done. Not an ounce of humility, but you're not going to get no humility from Esau, man. Okay, but they come up here and proclaim, and the only reason we're speaking on it is because you proclaim to be followers of the Lord, man. You proclaim to be servants of the Lord, people of God, godly people, but you don't represent nothing righteous. Okay? You don't represent not a thing that's righteous, man. But they frame mischief. Okay? So they have that. And we've been saying over and over and over again that we are not violent. We are completely non-violent. All right. All we're doing is the task that the Lord commanded us to do. Go out into the highways and hedges and bid them to the marriage, preaching the word. But then you see how powerful the scriptures are, and this Bible, this truth is, because just us holding the scriptures and breaking it down alone is bringing their kingdom to its knees. And also, they see that as a major threat. Okay. Even though we get up here and say that we're nonviolent. All right. And the brother posted the next verse. It says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. There you go. So that's what they do. Okay. They make their accusations against us. All right. They're looking to set us up. And all these things that's on the books, they're going to go for it. And based off how easy it was for the right, under Nero 47 to demonize Latino, so-called Latinos, how much more us brothers in the truth? So y'all just not regular so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans. Y'all actually talking the way they seeing it, talking some hot shit. We're saying that their kingdom is going down. We're in the midst of their kingdom, all right? And we pay our taxes, we're law-abiding citizens. But yeah, we're in the midst of their kingdom, telling them that they're going to be destroyed and they're going into slavery, right? For you Edomites. Okay, so, but yeah, what have you done? You so big and bad. Why haven't you stopped us? Because you're not in control. The Lord is in control. All right. If you were in control, you would have been took us out of here. But deep down, they know when they make that move to come get us, some big is going to happen. All right. All right. And you're going to see divine intervention. Isaiah 59 and 9, I believe it's 19. All right. The standard will come when the enemy comes in like a flood. So we want to see that happen. So we welcome it. What are you Edomites waiting for, man? What are you elites waiting for? Do what you got to do, right? You're all big and bad, right? You got the rulership. You got your blessing, the sword. Stand now with thine enchantments. Go ahead and do your thing. But they're holding back because they know, really Esau, no matter what he does, he's fucked. He goes right, he's fucked. If he goes left, he's fucked. He turns back, he's fucked. He goes forward, he's fucked. It's checkmate. All right, so they're raging out. Hey, shalom, shalom. Yep. Hey, that's a great one right there from the brother. Strive for the masteries. 144. This is Amos 5:10. They hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Oh, here it is. We're the ones that's actually, they claim the Bible, they claim this. Well, you looking at the men of the Lord right here. Lord's will. You know, we be those men. All right, but those that are in this truth, those are the men of the Lord. Okay, we say that humbly because we know we have to endure until the end to be crowned. All right, to be crowned as the servants, you know, the priest of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We have to endure to the end. But again, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate. And you know what they really hate? They're envious because the Lord has anointed us. Just like they hated Yahweh Shai. All right, Herod wanted to come for him, his own people want to come for him. All right, the servant is not greater than his master. So we are demonized, okay, and they seek to come against us. All right, but that's what Psalms 27 says. You know what? I'm gonna grab it real quick before I go ahead and stop at my I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. Anyways, I want to get I just want to get one quick one before I head up out of here. I'm just parking up my destination. And this is where I got the title of the video from. All right, that the elect of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai is going to be preserved from all of these perils, man. There's the book of Psalms 27. And 12, it says, "Deliver me not over unto the will of mine enemies, for false witnesses are risen up against me, and such as breathe out cruelty." All right, and Nero 47 is one of those, enemies and witnesses that's rising up against us, and when the time comes, they're gonna have it all set. If it was this easy for them to just demonize jakes that just go out in the field and reap their fields, how much more us with this damning message against them? You see? Okay. So Edomite supremacy, man, they're going all the way with it. And you know what? It's beautiful because just be the devil you were always made to be. All right. Just be who you are. All right. And we're going to be who we were made to be. Lord's will. All right. Which is the servants of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay. It says, "I had fainted unless I had believed to see the goodness of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai in the land of the living. Wait on Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai." So again, this is our message. So you Christian nationalists, you ain't going into this. You can't deal with us in the spiritual arena, man. When it comes to this book, when it comes to the scriptures, when it comes to these breakdowns, when it comes to prophecy, history, all right. Everything surrounding this book here, you can't go toe to toe with us. All right. All right, we like Crawford when it comes to this book, man. All right. So you can't get down with this. So what are you gonna do? Lie. Okay, we already know your whole plan because we prophesying of what you're gonna do, man. You're subject to what we say. We're not subject to what you say. Because this is the words of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. Now we're saying we're not speaking our own words, we're speaking the words of the Lord. All right. But we like Crawford with this thing, man. All right. Mayweather, think of any great boxer, UFC fighter, whatever. The best of the best when it comes to this book from our apostles on down, you can't get down with this. You can't touch this, man. All right. Yep. Hey, there it is. I'm gonna close with this. Same brother, Isaiah 59:19 in the AMP. "So will they fear the name of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun, where he will come in like a narrow rushing stream, which the breath of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua drives overwhelming the enemy. Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. That's it. All right. So, hey, yeah, that's coming too. All right. So let's get to the proceedings. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of it, you know? But hey, man, people are suffering. All right. Things are getting worse. It ain't going to get better. And we see it unfolding right before our very eyes, man. And again, you know, I'm going to keep stressing this. You people got a lot more of this to endure because it ain't like we at the end of this man's presidency. Like, all right, well, somebody new going to get up in there. He's just getting started. We're not even 1 year in. So, hey, man, Baruch Yahweh Shem Yahushai for making prophecy come to pass, for bringing it to pass everything we've been speaking of. You know, we got to be mentally prepared for this because, you know, we've been speaking it. Now we're going to see it. We are seeing it and we're going to continue to see it. So, you know, we always knew that there was going to be a time where it was going to go from us speaking it to it playing out in reality. And that's the phase of this thing that we're at. So, hey, may the Lord continue to preserve y'all out there of the household of faith. And may Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Akak Wadash have you endure unto the end to be delivered and receive a crown of life. All right. With that, all praise be unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Akak Wadash. Shalom to the elect.